Welcome to the May edition of the Sydney PC and Technology User Group main meeting. I'm here at the Ovolo Hotel in Woolloomooloo. So I'm actually here in Sydney, but whilst we're going to be doing this meeting, I'll be on a plane flying back to Canberra. Sorry for not checking that out further. Now I'm here to look at the QN900D, the Neo QLED 8K Smart TV from Samsung. And we have the Olympic Games in less than 100 days. We have NFL and ARL every week. We have the Euro football leagues later this year. Sport is always one of the reasons why people buy a new TV. This is Samsung's top of the line. It's an 85-inch and it's $13,900. Now that's obviously, premium pricing. The 75-inch is $10,427, which will probably come down to $9,999 during some sort of sales, probably towards the middle of the year, and certainly by the time Christmas comes around. And there's also a 65-inch for $7,530. And again, these prices will, as the nature of things goes, they will come down. But although Samsung does have a 98-inch TV and it also has OLED TVs, this is its top-of-the-line unit with everything. It's got this Infinity Air design. It's about a centimetre or so thick. It's tiny. It's got a 6.4.2 surround sound system built in. But down the bottom down there, I don't know if you can see it, but we have the Samsung HW990D, the Q990D Q series soundbar, which comes with a soundbar down there. And on the back, there's a couple of speakers and there's a little subwoofer down there. You probably can't see it. Now that one's $2,099. That's their top of the line. And you can use one remote. It does have its own separate remote that you can adjust various things, but just this one remote will adjust the TV sound. But it will also, with this thing called Q Symphony over there, it will use the sound from the soundbar and the subwoofer and the two speakers along with the sound from the television, which actually gives you an even better sound capability. A lot of TVs don't necessarily use the soundbar and the speakers of the TV at the same time. And if you've got an older TV like I have, with a soundbar from a different brand, then often the sound from both sources is not in sync. So you'd have to sort of turn the TV down and listen to the soundbar. But this really does have some incredible capabilities. AI picture quality, it will upscale whatever content to the best it can look. So even if it's SD content from a 1980s TV show, it does as good as it can to actually increase the sound quality there. This particular one has the NQ8 AI Gen 3 processor. So other models in the range have the Gen 2. So this one is really the bee's knees. And if you're pushing through the different menu systems, I mean, everything is just as smooth as silk. And, loading up things. I mean, there's also a thing called Samsung TV Plus, 114 channels of live TV. Let me bring up Sky News, for example. And often you'll see that when it's streaming, it starts off being a little bit fuzzy, but then it very quickly catches up and it's nice and smooth. So you can see a bit of fuzziness there, but any second now, it's going to sharpen. There you go. See, it's sharpened. Because, well, that's just the way streaming works. It wants to get you the stream as quickly as possible. But that is a stream, and it's nice and sharp and clear, and that's on an 8K 85-inch TV, so it's really quite special. Now, I'll just get out of that. And just looking through some of the other features here, I mean, the 8K Upscaling Pro, other models don't have the Pro version of the upscaling. It's also got Motion Enhancer Pro. So if I go down into, for example, one of the sports channels, and we're watching a sporting match, then the ball is very smooth. I mean, it might look like it was a little bit fuzzy to me, a little bit, but it's better than it jerking across the screen. So let me just see if I can find that. Now, what's going on here? Let me just hit the button again and go down to, well, let's have a look at this. This is not soccer, but this is still a game that has a ball bouncing around. So let's wait for it. This is obviously basketball. And again, you have to wait a little bit for it to sharpen up a bit, but that is streaming live. Now I'm just waiting for it to actually show us some of the balls bouncing around. And clearly this is not actually happening with this lady at the moment. I thought we would be seeing that. So let's go and look at something else. Let's go down to the sports feed. There's so many different things there. What have we got here? Let's try. I'm not sure this is the same one. I don't think so. Let's hit play and have a look. So let me see if I can fast forward a little bit and hit play. And so if we watch that ball, this is using motion smoothing. This is this AI Motion Enhancer Pro. And instead of having this ball distortion. I mean, the ball should look nice and smooth as it's traveling across the screen. And I mean, it's doing the best it can. I've seen in previous years that it's much more of a juddery kind of effect. And I guess there's some element of that still there too, but in any case, this is one of the features that they're really promoting this year as being a lot smoother than in years gone past. So look, there's all sorts of other features, depth enhancer, pros and more. And you've got the soundbar. Now, when I was playing this just by listening to the TV, as soon as you turn the soundbar on, it's just a massive jump in quality. So let me go down to something in Netflix, and actually let me go back here, go down to the, let me get out of that altogether, go back down to the settings, go to the sound output, and we're going to change that to be let's have a look, music frames. There's different music frames here, but I just want to get it to go to the TV by itself. So if I go to the TV, I go back and I hit play on something, and we just hit play. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So fast forward to here, for example, and if I turn the volume up, so that's 50, 60, 70, 100. That's just the TV by itself. So let's get out of that, back to the home screen, go down to the bottom here and change the output to Q Symphony, which is using the soundbar and the TV speakers together. So if I hit, hang on, let me go back to, sorry, I wanted to hit the back button, sorry. It's probably a quicker way of doing this, but that'll do. So back, it was pretty quick anyway. So if I hit resume, and if I turn the sound up on the soundbar, now that's just 22. I mean, that's pretty much as loud as it was when it was 100.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to San Jose International Airport.
So, I mean, that's at 50. If I went any louder, I'd be disturbing the, the neighbors in the other room. So it's a fabulous TV. I mean, they've got less expensive models, the 4K series, and they've got a range of different models. But if you want the best, this is currently the best that Samsung's got. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you about, and I don't think I have necessarily a web, well, I do have a web browser here, but I really haven't got time to go through it all. But we've got, at midnight tonight, Apple will be launching its new iPads.
That's 25 items, voice guide, off.
So I want to cancel that and go to here. And let's type in sydneypc.com because that's going to be quicker. SY, yeah, and you can probably use your phone if you've got a Samsung phone. I don't know that for sure, but I know that you can do that with an Apple TV, so I'd be surprised if you couldn't do that on this particular device as well. Let's tap hold on that. Thought it might give me a .com, but that's okay. And we just tap go. And so there we are. And there we are. So Apple is launching new iPads later tonight. Now, this will be at midnight for us, so, Wednesday morning at 12 o'clock. It's supposed to be a 35-minute presentation, and the rumors have all said that we'll see the new iPad Pros. Now, some have said we'll see the M3 chip, some have said we'll see the M4 chip, and I'll explain that in a moment. But there's supposed to be an element of AI being shared tonight. Now, Apple is going all in on AI this year. They're going to be doing that at the Worldwide Developer Conference. And all the rumors say we're going to get a Siri that will be much more intelligent, it can have conversations, and it can do it all on device. So you won't have to send your query to the cloud, to OpenAI's ChatGPT or to Google. And by doing that, it'll be able to be private and not share the information. Now, there's been lots of stories about this in that Apple is going to also do a deal with OpenAI or Google's Gemini to get more details than they can have on the built-in AI system that's going to be on iOS 18. Presumably the iPhone 16 Pro will do even more. Hopefully the AI capabilities will extend to existing iPhones that are compatible with iOS 17, which have had AI neural engines for years, but we're yet to find out. There's going to be a new pencil, supposedly the Pencil Pro, that you can swap the tips on, you can squeeze the side and also get a haptic feedback. There's meant to be OLED screens on the iPad Pro, so they'll be thinner, and there's meant to be a 12.9-inch iPad Air, so a bigger one. They've only had basically the 11-inch one before, but apparently these iPad Airs will only have the M2 chip, so the rumors have said. And there'll be no entry-level iPad or iPad mini until later in the year. But Apple is meant to be launching, according to the rumors, the M4 chip, because Qualcomm, and we have a video to show later in this presentation, Qualcomm has launched the Snapdragon X Elite, which they did back in November last year, and just in the last couple of weeks, the Snapdragon X Plus. And this is a chip that is supposed to be faster than Apple's M3. So Apple, of course, wants to show that it's already on the M4. It already has a chip that can outclass the one from Qualcomm. The Qualcomm chip was meant to be designed by people who defected from Apple. So they've sort of stolen Apple's technology, or their, the brains that developed the chip for them, which is how they've been able to catch up. But don't forget, Apple launched their M1 chip in 2020. We're now in 2024. So Apple has been, like Steve Jobs said with the iPhone, 5 years ahead. Well, they've more or less been 5 years ahead as well. The competition has caught up by borrowing some of Apple's previous employees. There's supposed to have been some sort of lawsuit about that. And even with ARM, the people that they license the chip technology from, that they build chips on, it's actually ARM Corporation that licenses out the designs. But Apple is meant to launch the M4 in the iPads as a way to one-up all the other manufacturers that will be coming out with Snapdragon X Plus and X Elite Windows notebooks that have the same kind of features as Apple's M series laptops do. Very long battery life, much more powerful than the Intel versions of the processors, and very smart internal AI capabilities. Qualcomm's talking about 45 TOPS, which is trillion operations per second. And look, this is all going to be in a 19-minute video from Qualcomm. Would I buy one of these new ones? Look, if I had spare cash and I wanted to play with the newest technology, sure. But the other side of me says, wait till version 2 of these Qualcomm chips for Windows PCs. Qualcomm has launched ARM chips for Windows before, and they flopped at the time. They weren't very powerful. But these new ones are in a different class. They're in the same sort of class as the chips that Apple has in its Macs, which are like iPhone chips on some serious steroids. So you're going to see a lot of talk about this over the next few months leading up to Christmas. Obviously, plenty of people are still going to want the Intel and AMD chips, but these new ARM-based chips are really starting to make waves, and Qualcomm is the big competitor that makes chips competes with Apple, who makes chips, and competes with Intel and AMD. They're the ones who make the chips for the Samsung and the other flagship and other mobile phones out there. Now, we also have Microsoft launching its new consumer-based Surface devices later this month with one of the Snapdragon chips inside, which is why the rumors say Apple is going to come out with the M4 to just beat those guys. And Apple will have M4 chips in its MacBook Airs and Pro towards the end of the year. So again, the rumors say. And we have Google that's going to launch their own I/O developer conference next week. And then in June, we're going to have the Worldwide Developer Conference from Apple, where we're going to learn more about the AI stuff. Given Apple's event is only supposed to be 35 minutes, so again, the rumors say there's probably not going to be too much emphasis on the AI. They're probably going to hint at it. Apple's Tim Cook, the CEO, has said that, look, they have a great lead in the ability to have all the hardware and software vertically integrated. So they're promising great stuff. Apple normally doesn't give such broad hints that they're really going to come out of the gate with some incredible AI stuff. But again, we have to wait about 4 or 5 weeks to have that Apple Developer Conference to be able to see exactly what they're going to launch. And they will probably still have surprises in store for the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro launch, which will come in September. So definitely, watch the keynotes from Google. There'll be incredible stuff there. That'll be AI in your Chrome browser. You'll be able to type @Gemini into the Chrome browser window, and then your query, and it'll bring up the Gemini web page. You can download the Gemini app, which is Google's version of ChatGPT, to iPhones. And if you've got the Google app on your iPhone, the Gemini app for Android you can download, but if you've got the Google app for iPhones, there'll be a little Gemini tab at the top. You can tap on that. Now, at the moment, as of today, it says, not available yet, but Google only announced in the last couple of days that it'll be rolling out over the next couple of weeks. There's also an app called Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E, which you can download for iOS. You can't download it for Android as yet. And this is using the Anthropic engine called Claude. Now, Claude comes in 3 different sizes. I forget what they are, but the biggest one is called Opus. And I think if you pay for that, you'll get it on your phone. But otherwise, the standard one is basically as good as ChatGPT 4. And Claude Opus, which is I think the one you have to pay for, that, according to Claude's own stats, outdoes ChatGPT 4's best. And don't forget, we're yet to see ChatGPT 5 sometime this year. But the articles were saying that it was almost sort of self-aware. It could tell that some of the tests it was being asked to do were set up in a certain way that were very sort of obviously both difficult and easy to figure out if you're a human, that they were sort of strange tests, and it managed to do it. So this ability for AI to become self-aware is something that could be happening very soon. It could still take 10 years. There's plenty of arguments on both sides. I mean, Warren Buffett, the world's biggest investor, sort of had AI akin to nuclear bombs. Plenty of potential, but plenty of chance for bad things to happen as well. And he said that he saw a deep fake of himself that was really convincing. He said his wife and kids would struggle to know if it was really him or not. And he said, if he was into scams as an investment, that'd be the next big growth area. So we have to be very careful. I mean, do you know if I'm an AI version of myself right now? I mean, I'm telling you I'm not, but in the future I could easily be. I've seen other people with AI bots of themselves, and you can't tell. It looks like them. So this era of deepfakes, people are saying, oh, it's still a little while off. It's here now, and we're going to see more of it during the election. There'll be deepfakes of Biden, deepfakes of Trump, deepfakes of Albanese, deepfakes of Dutton. So look, there's plenty more. If you go to my website, techadvice.life, I've got a great interview with an AI artist called Chuck Grott. We spoke for an hour on my TV show. There's another review there of the D-Link Aquila Pro. This is a Wi-Fi mesh system. It sort of has this very kind of modern kind of look. It looks very cool. And I've set it up. It was very easy to set up, and it was giving me better results than my older Linksys mesh, which was already 2-3 years old, maybe a bit older. But I'm getting Wi-Fi in areas of the house that the Linksys couldn't stretch to. I'm sure if I got the latest 2024 Linksys, it would also have much better capabilities. But if you want to expand the Wi-Fi in your house, this I think was about $529 for a 2-pack. I think it was $699, something like that for a 3-pack. And we had Netgear launching a Wi-Fi 7. I mean, the most advanced Wi-Fi you can get. It can do like 26 gigabits of speed between its own little devices. And if you've got a multi-gigabit fiber connection to your home, it can sort of take full advantage of that. But the Wi-Fi 7 standard still hasn't been finalized. And so, this particular mesh Wi-Fi from Netgear, using the Wi-Fi 7 standard, I think for 3 units, it was $4,299. I mean, you think the TV is expensive. This was super expensive for a mesh Wi-Fi for a standard that's not yet finalized. But I mean, if money's no object and you've got to have the fastest and the best, and you've got a super fast internet connection coming in via fiber, then there are some people who are going to definitely want it and need it. But for the rest of us, that's too advanced. We don't need that yet. So look, I'm sorry this is not the full presentation. If Stephen can now hit play on the Qualcomm presentation, I've sent him the web address for that. It's 19 minutes and 20 seconds, but it's showcasing what Qualcomm has done to make Windows PCs be as thin and light, last as long, be super quiet, and have great performance. And it's definitely worth your time to watch. If we've run out of time, well, Stephen can put the link up and you can watch it yourselves. But be sure to tune into Apple's YouTube page, youtube.com/Apple, to watch what they launched in the morning when it'll all be public knowledge. Be sure to check out Google I/O next week. Check out WWDC next week. We'll be talking about it. We may even have a meeting before then. I'm not sure. I'd have to check the calendar. But this is the year of AI, and it's going to be one of the most exciting years yet. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.